On today's show, the Phoenix Suns get a nationally televised W beating up on the Portland Trail Blazers. How'd they do it? How did they get there? And why are the Suns just a good offensive team? Let's talk about that much more in this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back into Locked On Phoenix Suns. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show, mornings, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. on YouTube, and a credentialed Phoenix Suns media member covering your Phoenix Suns 365 days out of the year. That's why we call it your team every day here at the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. That is just a statistic. It is not hyperbole. However you may be listening, wherever you may be listening, thank you so much for making myself and this show a part of your day. Reminder, Locked On Phoenix Suns is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So hit that follow, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, and get Locked On Phoenix Suns Locked On the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Wow. I mean, guys, truly, I'm dumbfounded. Truly, I am. Like, there were some things, and I listed them off to you guys, that I feel like I've been right about, like outstandingly right about. The Colin Gillespie thing over CP3. I mean, not tonight. Actually, not the last couple of nights. Sweet baby Oso Iguodala is growing up right in front of our very eyes. Like, I like the Mark Williams trade where a lot of people didn't. I like the Rasheer Fleming thing. Like, there's been some things I have clearly been right about. I'm not going to sit here and list them to you every single night. Whether you want to listen to me or not is, that's your choice. I maybe the Suns are just an offensive juggernaut. Maybe they are. And I just don't know how many times this team, the statistic that I've been saying each and every day, the Suns have been up at least 18 points. And I think it's now 9 of their last 10 games. They are not just getting up on teams. They are blitzing them. And they are 9-1 in those games. Again, I might be off by one game, not meaning that they won or lost. I think I might have taken the stat one game too far, but it's okay. It's gotten so big that I'm now losing track of numbers. I thought this Suns team was going to be a play-in team. I was higher on them than a lot of other people. And the reasoning for that was I thought they were going to be a suffocating team defensively. You had Ryan Dunn. You had Dillon Brooks. They were going to be suffocating on the wings, making things hard for opposing teams. Not to mention, here's something I was wrong about. Mark Williams was a terrible defender over in Charlotte. Maybe everyone else around Mark Williams just did not give him the support he needs. Because now he's blocking shots. He's grabbing offensive boards. He's also staying healthy. Shame on me. Maybe Charlotte's just a losing organization that even someone like him, who's a very good, very talented player, couldn't overcome that sort of dysfunction. And so I thought this team was just going to be suffocating, dive on the floor for loose balls. And just so we're clear, that is true. However, offensively, what I said isn't true. I didn't think this team was going to be that good this good offensively, especially this fast. Guys, right now the Suns, and I'm not sure if NBA.com, as I had this stat before, has updated this since the game has been over, but to be fair, the game has been over for all of 5 seconds now. But the Suns coming into tonight at minimum are the 14th ranked team in defensive rating. It's pretty good. It's not me coming at the Suns at all. The teams ahead of them, Minnesota Timberwolves, totally makes sense. Magic, totally makes sense. Raptors, whatever. Celtics, always a good defensive team. Cavs, good defensive team last year. Hawks, again, a little bit of an anomaly. Maybe the Golden State Warriors as well. But they're right where we thought they were. I think they're going to get better defensively. And with what they're doing against teams, that defensive rating will continue to shoot up. Like, I predicted this team would be a top 10 defensive team. They're right there. They're at 14. And they had a tough start to the season where they gave up a lot of points to the Clippers. They gave up a lot of points to the Nuggets. Like, that sort of things those sort of things happen. But guys, offensively, and it wasn't like anyone on this team tonight had an explosive night offensively. Their team statistics came down a little bit because they were blowing out teams so bad that they didn't have all their players in. So guys are breaking shots who would normally not be playing. But like, even tonight, they had 3 starters in double figures. Like, Mark Williams had 15. That's great. It's good. He's 7 or 9 from the field. Dylan Brooks, 12 points. Cool. Devin Booker, 19 points. Like, no one on this team exploded for 35 points tonight. Like, guys, genuinely, I'm confused. Genuinely, I am. Because this team is a band of misfits offensively. And get this, they're the 9th ranked team in offensive rating, according to NBA.com, heading into this game. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? And just so we're clear, neither of those statistics, defensive rating or offensive rating, have been updated yet following this game. So I'm assuming it's just going to go up. Because if I look at their defensive rating, yeah, they scored less points than that. Offensive rating, they scored more points than that. There's a chance they're higher than both of those things. And like, yeah, I was right. They're a better defensive team than they absolutely were last year, and I thought they would continue doing that. But the thing I didn't come to grips with, maybe they're just a freaking good offensive team too. Like, I don't want to hear the Suns haven't played anyone, because they have. Just because they shut out your favorite team, Los Angeles Clippers, San Antonio Spurs, doesn't mean they haven't played good teams. They should have beat the Atlanta Hawks the other night. Whatever, it happens. More on that in a second. However, they're beating up on teams. Like, it's not like they're getting up 5 or 6 points. They're getting up at minimum 18 plus points. They're up 25 points in this game at one point. Late, like in the fourth quarter, where Jordan Knott said, yeah, Book, take the rest of the night off. Book came out with a minute 26 left in the third quarter, never came back in, and the lead never got in trouble. And like, just so we're clear as well, these games matter a ton. I know, Ben, you make everything such a big deal. Yeah, let me paint you a picture. Because this isn't a team that we know is going to lollygag their way to 50 wins. Like, not every game matters for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not every game matters for the Denver Nuggets. If the Denver Nuggets or Oklahoma City Thunder get upset by the Phoenix Suns in a game this year, whoop-de-freaking do. It's not going to affect their playoff positioning. It's not going to affect them making the playoffs. All those teams are worried about. The Nuggets, the Thunder. I don't know why I'm blanking on the top teams in the West right now, but as I go over to it, like, oh yeah, the Rockets, obviously. Like, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets, those teams are going to lose games every now and then. It's not that big of a deal. Here's the difference for the Suns as I pull up the standings right now. They've got wins against the Portland Trailblazers. They've got a win, or they got a win against the Portland Trailblazers. They got a win against the Utah Jazz. They've got 2 wins against the Los Angeles Clippers. They've got a win against the Dallas Mavericks. They've got a win against the Sacramento Kings. They've got a win against the New Orleans Pelicans. These games matter because right now the Suns sit at 9-6. That is 4 spots up of the that is 4 spots up from the 11th seed. So right now the Suns are 4 games up in the loss column on the Los Angeles Clippers with 2 games on them. Meaning right now the Suns have the tiebreaker. These games matter, especially against the Warriors, which they've already lost one. That sucks, but whatever. Against the Blazers, against the Jazz, against the Clippers, because they're going to be jousting with positioning with these teams all year long. So the fact that you're already stacking W's, the Suns are at 9 already. I mean, if they beat the Atlanta Hawks, they're at 10. Like, again, we'll get to that in a second. But it's also like, God, I wish they could have won that game. They'd be at 10 wins right now. But whatever, like, you can't go back in the past, whatever. You keep stacking W's against these teams. You go up into the hard part of your schedule, which again, this is it, right? This is what people told me was going to start. And you got the Spurs coming up in a couple weeks. You might luck out of that one. Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama are both injured. You've got, the Rockets coming up, the Timberwolves coming up. You want a buffer for yourself so that you don't have to feel like you have to come out of those stretch of games into Christmas over 500. I can lose 3 of those games and still feel like I'm still firmly in the play and mix. So I know sometimes people like to tell me like, okay, Ben, this game doesn't matter that much. Yes, it does. Like, this is not the Rockets, the Thunder, the Nuggets. We're like, they're going to lollipop their way to 48 wins. They're going to make the playoffs. What matters at the end of the day is they just get in and are a top 3 seed. That's all that matters. For the Suns, that isn't what matters. The Suns have a lot of losses on their schedule coming up. Newsflash, the Suns are going to lose probably 30 more games this year. And guess what? That still put them well over 500. If they lost 30 more games this year, they'd lose 36 games. What is that? 46 and 36, if I'm doing my math correctly on the fly. Like, it's still an absurdly good record. My point is that they've got 30 more losses on the schedule. Are we sure the Denver Nuggets do? The Rockets do? The Thunder do? No. They're going to make the playoffs. They just need to get in. The Suns need to get every win they can so that come the last 3 weeks of April, when we're jousting for playoff positioning, we're not saying to ourselves, damn it, if they just took that Portland Trailblazers game seriously on that random Tuesday night, which it's 11:59 right now, it's this close to being Wednesday, on that random Tuesday night in Portland, we wouldn't have to be in this situation. But they're doing it. They're taking it seriously, and they're beating the you-know-what out of these teams. And it's impressive, man. We'll get into it. We'll get further into that. The Suns got taught a lesson the other night, and they didn't let it become a problem tonight. That says something. That says they're learning. What am I talking about? We'll get to it next. First, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA season is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Today's episode is also brought to you by Built. Nobody likes paying rent, but if you must, you might as well get something for it. That's where Built comes in. Built is changing the game by turning your rent payment into real rewards you can actually use. When you pay rent through Built, you're in flexible points that can be redeemed toward hundreds of hotels, airlines, and a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But Built isn't just about rent. It's about rewarding you around your neighborhood. Whether I'm grabbing food at my local favorite restaurant or heading to the gym, I'm still earning rewards. Built has made everyday life feel more rewarding. From your neighborhood to your travel plans, turn your rent into rewards. Start earning points around your neighborhood by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use that link so they know we sent you. So respect to Suns fans, because I want to say the term. Remember the other day when the sky was falling because the Suns blew a 20-point lead, but that wasn't the case. I actually didn't see a lot of that, which it tells me a lot of Suns fans are also buying into this notion. I know blowing a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter, like obviously that's really bad. That's not great, especially when it becomes a trend. And last year for the Phoenix Suns, how many times did we say, all right, you got to get up big because in that fourth quarter, They just don't take it seriously enough. They'll blow a big lead, and the Suns would end up blowing a lot of big leads in the fourth quarter. They were one of the worst clutch time fourth quarter teams in the entire NBA last year. And so you kind of felt some shades of that the other day. There was some anxiety to that, meaning the Suns, blew a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter with like 9 minutes to go. And you said to yourself, oh, what's that mean? Is that creepy? Is that something rearing its head from last season? Here's why blowing a 20-point lead isn't the worst thing in the world as long as it is super infrequent. Just so we're clear, newsflash, the Suns are going to blow another 25-point lead, 22-point lead at some point this season. Here's something that I'll also say to you that will come for you. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Denver Nuggets, the cream of the crop of the Western Conference, will also blow a major point spread at some point this season. 20-point leads aren't anything in the NBA anymore. It happens as long as it's super infrequent. It's not that big of a deal. Here's what I'll say about the Suns, though. The Suns blew a 22-point lead. They blew a massive lead the other night against the Atlanta Hawks. What was different tonight than the other night when the Suns blew a 22-point lead? Because the Portland Trailblazers are like a carbon copy. I would argue maybe even a better version. Maybe it's a little far. Maybe a little lesser version of the Atlanta Hawks team you just saw the other night. But you were playing them at home this time. And you got up massive, 25 points in the fourth quarter. And there was never a scent of the Suns blowing that lead. And that is a masterful thing for a young team to learn right away. Meaning, they're up big in this game. How is that going to drive the anxiety of the Phoenix Suns not to let Sunday night happen again? It happened, flush it, whatever. The Suns pulled out Devin Booker at the 126-minute point in the third quarter. I think being like, okay, this is Devin Booker. This is a little bit earlier than Devin Booker's scheduled, get off the floor, bench time, comes back in around like the 8.5-minute mark in the fourth quarter normally. Let's get him a little bit of extra rest. Let's make sure we preserve this lead. Here's the problem with that. Devin Booker never came back in the game. Do you want to know why Devin Booker never came back in the game? Because the Suns kept growing a big lead. Learning that already is a really big skill set for the Phoenix Suns that I can't say that they learned it already because they're a young team and it's one time, but getting those lessons in and already buying into like, yeah, it happened. Let's not let it happen again. Blazers never got close. They never got close. It was never, ever close. And the Suns, credit to them, punching them in the mouth without any of their best players tonight. Like, guys, here's another thing that is like crazy. And like, I haven't even gotten to like half of my notes here, which is telling me I'm taking way too many notes during a Suns game. But they didn't have, like, they had Devin Booker, right? They had Devin Booker, who's top 15 player in the NBA. I think he's like 13. God, maybe he's even like 12 or 11 at this point. He's playing that well. Devin Booker is obviously the best playmaker, best shot creator on this team. But you can argue 2, 3, I don't care what order you put them in. That's not the point of this point. Grayson Allen and Jalen Green both aren't there. I think you'll get Grayson Allen back by Friday. But going 1-1 probably should have went 2-0. Like, they should have went 2-0. But they're 1-1, so whatever. But with the caveat of they were up 22 points in the fourth quarter of the last game. They're not skipping a beat offensively. I don't understand what it is. Like, it's not a fluke at this point, guys. They've played, 20 games to this point of the season? The Suns have played 15 games at this point of the season. When they get Jalen Green back, is it going to be 25 games? Like, this makes me feel better about Jalen Green's fit in the offense because Everyone is fitting in this offense right now. They blew out for a large portion of the Atlanta Hawks game. The Atlanta Hawks by 22 points without Grayson Allen and Jalen Green. They ended up losing that game, whatever. But then the very next game, they're like, no, it's not a fluke. We're just going to get up 25 points against the Portland Trailblazers, who are not a team to sneeze at. That's a good team. Well, they didn't have Drew Holiday tonight. Did I not just mention the Suns didn't have Grayson Allen and Jalen Green? I don't think the Suns are doing anything really special offensively, in terms of schematics. And I'm not going to act like I'm the biggest X's and O's guy. I know what's going on, but I'm not going to sit here and break down film for you. One, I don't think you care that much. And two, I think what I'm telling you right now, we're both watching the games. We both could tell you that. They're moving the ball around at a rapid pace, super efficiently and effectively. And I think that's what you chop it up to. Booker playing so well, getting into the lane, guys are crashing down on him, and players are rewarding him for kicking it out to them. Jordan Goodwin had a couple of not bad misses, but had a couple of misses in this game and then ended up firing on all cylinders. Again, Royce O'Neal wasn't great tonight. He's kind of, hot and cold. That's what we know about Royce O'Neal, but he had 3 threes tonight. And Colin Gillespie, 4 for 9 from 3 tonight. It just makes me feel like when Jalen Green gets inserted in this, maybe it's just going to work seamlessly, and I shouldn't have been yapping so much in the offseason. Because everyone is working. Jordan Goodwin was not known as an offensive player coming to the Suns. In his first stint with the Suns, he wasn't. Much less in his second stint. Now in his second stint, it's I don't know. He's kind of got a nice stroke from 3. It doesn't feel like a mirage. It feels like it keeps happening. So when are we going to start? When are we going to start to believe it? Just food for thought out there. Rasheer Fleming played a little bit tonight. Let's talk about that. Let's also look at the box score. Let's talk about how the Suns actually almost lost this game in the first half. And let's do it next. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends over at Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. I love that you are getting the same quality service you had before, but for a fraction of the price. The setup is super easy. Keep your number, and then you're running in minutes. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. It's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Front payment of $45 required. Limited time new customer offer for 3 months only. First 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. So I don't want to bury the lead a little bit on Rasheer Fleming, who did play tonight. Sure. He played 10 minutes. Here's my first thing that I want to know. Here's my first thing. The second the Suns needed some sort of depth at the forward position, Rasheer Fleming immediately got stuck into the fold, which tells me, okay, Jordan Ott is listen, I want to play Rasheer, but Dylan Brooks is playing really well. Ryan Dunn is a rebounding machine. Royce O'Neal is shooting like a sniper from 3. It's hard for me to just find minutes for this guy. But as soon as they had it, they gave it to him. And they gave him 10 minutes tonight. Here's what's interesting to me and a little worrisome. And again, a disclaimer, not calling this next guy a bust, not making any grand claims. I'm just telling you what I watched tonight. Guys, everyone played tonight besides Khaman Maluach. Why? Why did everyone play tonight outside of Khaman Maluach? I think part of it is he might just be further behind than any of us are giving it credit for. Like, I'll get to Rasheer Fleming in just a second, who offensively I thought was left something to be desired. Defensively, I thought he was pretty good. But like offensively, like, I know he can shoot the three. Let him get his feet wet. I think it'll get better. Why didn't Khaman Maluach play at all? Guys, everyone played. Why isn't he playing? It's a blowout game. Why isn't he playing? I don't understand. Guys, Jamare Bouye, who's fresh off the plane, probably didn't even have his sneakers yet from the plane, and his baggage, probably had to borrow someone's in the arenas, played 3 minutes tonight. There's only one person, DNP, coach's decision. Khaman Maluach. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. He didn't look awesome in his G League game the other night. He kind of struggled a bit. And as much as I was high on him in the NBA draft, because I loved his athleticism and I loved his defensive tangibles, maybe he's just further away than we thought. And he hasn't been playing basketball super long. But I got to tell you, it is a little concerning to me that not only was Rasheer Fleming pretty quick to come off the bench tonight in the second quarter, even I had to like kind of scratch my eyes and do like is that Rasheer Fleming? Why isn't Khaman Maluach playing? I don't know. I don't know. And it's a question that Jordan Ott is going to be asked by probably Dwayne Rankin tonight, who's always on the road with the team. Why did everyone play besides Khaman Maluach? Like, I'm just thinking out loud here. What happened? I mean, is he sick? Was there an injury I didn't hear of? I don't know. It's a little concerning that with the 10th overall pick, you drafted someone who's this far behind when you could have drafted Cedric Coward or Carter Bryant, who Carter Bryant's kind of been hit or miss, but still, I don't know. That's a little worrisome. That is like my first red flag. Again, you come here for honest analysis and not fanboying, wave the pom-poms. Like, I'm a fan just like you, but I'm going to tell you as I see it. That was a little concerning. And I can't come up with a good reason why he missed. Other than he's just really far behind. And he's learning at a slower pace than the Suns were ready for him to be learning. Rasheer Fleming, really quickly before we end the show. I thought he was good defensively. And I thought he matched up really well with the Portland Trailblazers, who are a really long, lengthy team that's got a lot of forwards, got a lot of versatility defensively, and a lot of different ball handlers offensively. Like, I liked the adjustment from Jordan Ott to at least bring him in. He had a couple of shots. I believe he took 4 shots tonight. I wrote that down. Yeah, okay, well, it's right here anyways. 2 from 3. 1 3 shot was really, really badly missed. I know people will try to gas it up more than it was. He had 2 turnovers tonight. Had a couple of bad misses from 3. Here's the thing, though, that he's going to affect the stat sheet like immediately on. One that you won't see defensively. Tonight he forced, a couple of turnovers. Here's the other thing. Rebounding the ball, on the break, getting it out on an outlet pass and getting quick buckets is important for this team. So Rasheer Fleming being all over the boards tonight, 10 minutes, 6 boards, 3 of them were offensive rebounds. That is a guy that you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He buys into the culture. He fits here. And like, again, people get upset because like, oh, we don't have Toumani Camara. Yes, Toumani Camara is awesome. But you do have Ryan Dunn and potentially even Rasheer Fleming, I think might even be better. So good signs tonight from that rookie. a little concerning for Khaman Maluach. And again, the 3-point shots that, work great for Rasheer Fleming. When you don't have a lot of reps, when it's, one of your first game actions where you're actually getting actual live reps in the second quarter, it can be a little nerve-wracking. That stuff will work itself out. The Khaman Maluach stuff, keep your eye out on that one. That was weird. That was really weird. With that being said, guys, follow me on all social media platforms right here at Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate all you guys tuning in to a very late edition from Tuesday night. Now it's Wednesday morning at 12:20 a.m. Appreciate you guys for all the well wishes when I was sick with COVID. Probably still sick with COVID, but I feel much better now. Body was aching the past couple of days. Thank you for being gracious with me when I took that Sunday night off and didn't watch the Atlanta Hawks game, although I thought all your guys' comments were very funny about like this game made him sick. No, I just had a throbbing headache and couldn't think straight. So appreciate you guys being here. And because of that, there will be a show Friday night post Minnesota Timberwolves game to make up for that show on Sunday that we missed. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Benjamin Garcia. It's been Locked On Phoenix Suns, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, darn it. I didn't even mention Sweet Baby Oso Ighodaro. Heck of a game, Sweet Baby Oso Ighodaro.